What's up, guys? Muilisx here. I got a call from the mechanic a few hours ago, and it actually turns out not to be everything I thought. I thought the truck was going to need a major tune-up, spark plugs, wires, distributor cap, all that stuff. But I don't. It actually turns out that the truck doesn't need anything. But I had a crack coolant temperature sensor that is responsible for reading the temperature of the engine and stuff like that, and sending that information to the computer of the car, truck, whatever, and then the computer regulates depending on that information how much fuel, how much air, blah 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 blah. So since I had a crack in the sensor, it wasn't working properly. So when I would start the truck cold and try to drive, it would surge and it would buck because of that. I went and picked up the truck about an hour and a half ago. I paid for it. It cost me about $200. He charged me $90. He spent an hour going over everything, so that's fine. $90, no problem. The part was $40, and it was about $60 in labor, about a little over a half hour to do to do that. I don't know how it took over a little over a half hour to put a sensor in, but whatever. Whatever. So it was $206 and change, all said and done. I picked up the truck. The engine was cold, which was good. It was actually done a little earlier, but I let it sit an extra couple of hours because I wanted to pick it up when it was cold, because I wanted to see how it performed with a cold engine. Not like turn it on and start driving. I still sat for like a minute or two to let it warm up a little bit. That's what I usually do. But even when I did that here, it would buck like crazy and surge. So I picked it up. I started it. Started right up. I let it sit for a minute idling, and then I started driving. It didn't surge, it didn't buck, no hesitation whatsoever. So everything is perfect now with the truck. I shouldn't say everything's perfect, because everything's not perfect. It is an old truck, so it does, it does creak here and there, like when you're turning, it's rusty and it's old a little bit. So it's not going to be a smooth, silent drive like a brand new car. But I'm not worried about that. The next thing I'm worried about is the clutch safety switch on the pedal. When you push the clutch pedal down to the floor, it's supposed to, and you turn the key, it's supposed to start. Well, what's happening is my safety clutch switch isn't tripping every single time that I push the clutch pedal down. Sometimes I push the pedal down and it doesn't trigger, so when I turn the key, nothing happens. So I think I have a failing clutch pedal sensor, and I think that sensor is the original sensor, or the original clutch safety switch, not sensor, the switch. I think that's the original switch with the truck since 1999. So I went on Parts Geek. There's a website called Parts Geek that my friend told me about. They sell the switch for my truck for $25. $10 shipping. It was $35.33 for the part. And then if I signed up for a freeshipping.com trial, they would rebate the $10 shipping. So I signed up for the free trial for 7 days. After 7 days it's $12.95, but I plan to cancel before then, so I won't get charged. My card was not charged for the free trial. I already logged in and looked. I called up freeshipping.com to clarify that as long as I've submitted the rebate request during the time that the trial is active, then they would accept the rebate. Because I was concerned that I would have to leave the membership active until they actually process the rebate, which takes like 6 to 8 weeks. So thank God that's not the case. I'm going to cancel in like 5 days or so. No problem, whatever. And I get $10 back. So it's really $25.33 for the new switch. It shouldn't take the guy more than 20 minutes to put that switch in. I looked under the pedals where the switch is. I found the switch. I just don't know how it comes off. It's like on a spring and stuff. I'm not fucking with it. I know a thing or two, but I don't want to fuck anything up. I'd rather pay the $30 labor for the 20 minutes for him to put for the new switch in. And hopefully, when the new switch is in, and I push that clutch pedal down, it fires right up. It trips that switch every time. And if it does, I'll be really super happy. As you guys know, I changed thermal paste for free for people with their PS3 or PS4. Mostly now just PS4s. And I had someone send me their PS4 for a thermal paste change. And I discovered that there was a connection issue with the hard drive port, where the hard drive actually goes into, like where the reader goes into, and the motherboard. So I spoke to him. He got covered under UPS insurance. UPS sent him a check. He bought a new PS4, and he told me to keep the broken one and do whatever I want with it. So I took the hard drive out, and I put the hard drive in my computer, which works. So it's not the hard drive, it's the actual port. And now I have 3 hard drives in the computer. I found somebody, I put it on Craigslist, I found someone who's going to pick it up tonight, who knows how to solder. I don't know how to solder, so you have to solder that connection again. After that, I'm pretty sure it will work. So he's giving me $150 for the PS4. Okay, so that means I spent $56 on the repair today with the truck. So that is actually pretty good. So $56 to get the truck running a lot better now. I'm very, very pleased. Alright, so $50, 30, 25 and 30, is another 55. So about 105, including the repair and the new switch and the new switch's installation. And I will be very, very pleased. Now, I might go today. If not, I'm going tomorrow to Audio Planet. My uncle does a lot of business at Audio Planet, so he should be able to put my new radio in for free. Hopefully. There's no cutting have to be done or anything. There's already an aftermarket in there. So everything should just slide in and plug up. Which, yes, I can do myself. However, the power, the 16 pin, plug that goes into the back of the radio is bigger than the one that came in the box. And the reason for that is because the new Pioneer head units, decks, whatever you want to call them, are smaller connection, they're smaller plugs. Also, the wiring that came with the new plug has the remote control antenna on it. So that one has to go in if I want to use the remote, and it has to go in if I even want to use, to power the radio. So it has to go in. I'm not really good with splicing and stuff, so I'm going to let them do that. Hopefully, if I have to pay for installation, it's no more than like $30 to just slice wire it up and snap it in. Anyone can do it. If I could splice, I could do it. No big deal. But once the new radio's in, I'll be even more happier because, as I said, right now I don't have volume buttons because the previous owner's kid was always messing with the buttons, so he pulled the buttons off. Which still I don't understand, because why couldn't you just pop off the whole faceplate and put the faceplate in your panel of your door while your kid's in the car? Why do you have to destroy the head unit? I probably would have kept this head unit for right now if the buttons weren't broken. Because right now I'm using a paper clip and I'm pushing in the fucking volume buttons every time I'm in the truck. It's a little bit of a bitch. So I don't really want to have to do that. Plus the new one's Bluetooth and everything. You guys seen the video. And I have a little microphone I can run behind and clip it up to my visor so I can answer my phone hands-free. It's going to be really cool. Over 210,000 color customizations for the faceplate. That's fucking dope. And I'm just real excited for the radio. And as you also know, I also have the radar detector. So that's going to go in one of these next couple of days. I think I want to have the radio done first before I put the radar in. Just so no one's like, not that they're going to steal the radar. I just don't want it tampered with or touched or anything. I'd rather just put that in after I get the truck back and I know that nobody else is going to be in the truck or using the truck or working on the truck or whatever like that. And when I bring it back for the switch, I'll just unclip the radar from the window mount. No big deal. And that's really it, guys. I shaved my head. I usually don't go this low, but sometimes I like to go this low. And it feels so weird. It just feels so weird. And I have such sensitive skin that it hurt. Like, after rubbing it with that thing for so long, it hurt. And then when the hot water hits your head and goes in the open pores on your head, that shit burns. But it will be healed by tomorrow. And that's really it, guys. I mean, I really have nothing else for you today other than that. I know you guys were waiting to find out what's going on with the truck, but I'm very, very happy that it was only $200 repair, and it runs a lot better now. And once I get that switch in and the clutch works and everything with the switch, I'll be very happy. I spoke to my mom about it, and we both feel that the previous owner, since we know him as much as we do, and he does a lot of work on the house, we know him for like over 10 years, 17 years, I think my uncle said 17 years. And I text him about this whole thing already. We both feel that he should really come on over and reimburse me that $200 that I spent today. Because there's no way that he drove that truck and did not feel the surging and the bucking on a cold start. There's just no way, because you can't drive the car on a cold start with that bad sensor. There's just no way there's no possible way that he did not know about that and he didn't tell me. Like I said, he's a real honest guy. I swore by him, but he wasn't 100% truthful with everything. And considering as long as we know him and as long as he's been working here and the relationship we have with him, he really should turn around and give me back the $200, because I don't think that was too right. Like, I understand some of you might say, well, you bought the truck, it's your problem now. But again, it's not like I just bought the truck from some random guy on Craigslist. We know this guy, we hang out with him and stuff. So I just don't feel that was 100% right to do that. If you knew it was bucking or something, you should have said something. Especially the day that he came over here. The day after I bought it, and it wouldn't start. It just would not start at all. We thought it was the battery. We went to AutoZone. They gave us a free replacement battery. It still wouldn't start. Then he got it to start finally. It was blowing smoke. And, I'm standing right there when he was doing all this. So he knows that, this obviously was something wrong with it. And that was all related to the bad sensor. So we just don't think it was too right to do that. And he should really come back and at least offer me some of that money back, even if $100. I shouldn't have to pay the $100 for the repair. And if he did give me $100 back, then I'm making $50 basically. I'll be making $50. But if he gave me the $200 back and I sold the PS4 for $150, then I'm basically, I'm making money. But he doesn't have to know about the PS4. That's totally different. I'm just using that money from the PS4 to pay for the repair. So that's my choice. That has nothing to do with that. He should still be respectful enough. He never texted me back either. This was hours ago. He never texted me back. So he should have been respectful enough to say, listen, I'm going to bring you that $200, or I'm sorry, I didn't, I forgot to, whatever. Like I said, there's no way he did not know. There's just no way. Okay, that's like driving around with a flat tire. How do you not know you have a flat tire? How do you not know that, there's no way. He used the truck every day. It was bucking and crazy on a cold start, surging. There's no way he didn't know. There's just no way. But if not, then I'm not worried about it. I'll take the loss because it's still only costing me the $56. So it doesn't bother me as much as it would if I had to pay the whole $200. I had plans to use that $150 towards the tune-up anyway, and I was planning to put money towards it. So I'm still like kind of ahead in a way. I'm down 56, but I'm still kind of ahead. But still, I don't think it was right. But I'm so happy that it's starting good and it's running good. Now all I have to do is wait for that new switch to come and put that switch in. And hopefully, I'm not even 100% sure that's the problem. It could even be a pedal adjustment. Because let's say you're pushing the pedal all the way down, but it's not going far enough to trigger the switch. But then again, sometimes when you push it down, it does start. So that tells me that the switch is failing, and sometimes it's tripping the switch and sometimes it's not. So hopefully when I get the new switch in, it fires right up every time with one push of the clutch pedal. So that's that, guys. the plan is to take this truck back to Florida next year sometime, 7 months from now. Start a pool cleaning business that I want to do. I did all the math. Like I said, I'll be making, I don't know if I told you, but I'll be making around $90,000 a year. And for myself, being single and everything with no real crazy bills, I'm going to be like swimming in the money. So I plan to use this truck for a couple of years to get myself settled and situated in Florida and get the business going and keep the truck until the business is steady. And once the business is steady and I have steady customers, I'm aiming for about at least 10 customers a day, then I'm going to get another truck for the business. Not new, used, but a newer year and maybe a little better condition, you know what I mean? And then I want to buy a car. I want to lease a car, finance a car, whatever the case may be. And the 3 cars I'm looking at is either a Genesis Coupe, a Scion FRS, or a 370Z. But out of the 3, I'm mostly looking at the Genesis and the FRS because I'm not too fond of the 370Z. Like the interiors, the basic model's interior is like too cheap looking. It doesn't have GPS. The Genesis's base model has all of that. I don't think it has the GPS, so I'll bump it up to the next model. But the inside of the Genesis Coupe blows the inside of the 370 away. I don't care what anyone says. Some people say the 370Z is more of a sports car and has more of a sports transmission, more of a solid transmission. But the Genesis is just so nice. And from what I'm reading, Hyundai did a complete turnaround from back in the day when they were really shitty, and they're actually decent now. So I'm going to test drive both the Genesis Coupe and the Scion FRS. Both, of course, manual. There's no way I'm buying an automatic. No way. And I'll see which one I like better. That's a hard decision, Genesis Coupe or the FRS. That really is a tough decision because I like both of those cars. But the Genesis Coupe is really nice. But then if I go with the Genesis Coupe, I got to decide between a 2.0 turbo or a 3.8 non-turbo. Yeah, I can always drop a turbo in the 3.8, but I don't know if I would do that. The 2.0 turbo, I mean, it is a small car, small engine, but the stock turbo on those things actually sound pretty nice. It's crazy. So, that's what it's going to be. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. I know it's just one little stationary spot, but it was raining earlier. It's nasty out. It's wet. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow.